Imagine trying to adapt the most beloved fantasy book of all time. People thought it was impossible. Hollywood had already failed to bring The Lord of the Rings to the screen before, so when a relatively unknown director from New Zealand took on the challenge, most people thought it would be a disaster, myself included. But what happened next? Well, it's pure cinema history. Before Peter Jackson's trilogy, The Lord of the Rings had a bad track record. Hollywood either turned it into a weird cartoon or avoided it completely. Even legendary directors like Stanley Kubrick and Steven Spielberg thought it was unfilmable. Plus, fantasy movies in the 90s, almost always a joke. Bad CGI, goofy costumes, and stories that got butchered beyond recognition. So when a studio gave Peter Jackson, a guy mostly known for making weird horror movies, $300 million to film an entire trilogy at once, people thought it was going to be a disaster. But Peter Jackson had a secret weapon: obsession. Instead of dumbing it down for Hollywood, he treated Tolkien's work with religious respect. He built an entire army of artists, historians, and linguists to bring Middle-earth to life from scratch. No lazy green screens, no cheap CGI. This man built actual castles, had actors learning Elvish, and even made a team of blacksmiths forge real weapons. It wasn't just a movie, it was Middle-earth coming to life. Okay, so now imagine this. Nicolas Cage as Aragorn, Sean Connery as Gandalf. Yeah, Sean Connery literally turned down the role of Gandalf because he didn't understand the script. That's how close we were to losing Ian McKellen's legendary performance. And Aragorn, the actor originally cast, quit last minute, so they brought in Viggo Mortensen, who didn't even know what Lord of the Rings was. Then he went full method, sleeping in the wild and insisting on using real sword during filming. Absolute legend. And then there's Gollum. Instead of just making him a weird CGI blob, Peter Jackson turned Andy Serkis into the first real motion capture performance in movie history. And it changed Hollywood forever. Then, in 2001, it happened. The Fellowship of the Ring released, and people realized they weren't just watching a good fantasy movie, they were watching the birth of a cinematic masterpiece. By the time Return of the King came out, The Lord of the Rings had done the impossible. It wasn't just a hit, it became one of the most critically acclaimed movies of all time. 11 Academy Awards, $1 billion box office, the highest rated trilogy in history, all from a movie people thought would fail. And today, every fantasy movie and show owes something to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Without it, there's no Game of Thrones, no House of the Dragon, no The Witcher. It didn't just succeed, it changed Hollywood forever.